welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking closely at something called The 7 Truths of Golf. It's by Henrik Jentsch.
Right. He's the director of Golf Academy 360 Degrees. They use all that fancy AI and 3D motion capture stuff.
Exactly. And you might think, golf, not really my thing,
Mm-hmm.
but that's kind of the point here.
Yeah.
Jentsch, he's a coach, a player, loads of experience. He makes it really clear. These aren't about, how to swing or what clubs to buy.
No, not technical tips.
Not at all. These 7 fundamental truths, as he calls them, they're all about the mental side, your attitude, your approach, honestly, your stance towards life.
Yeah, wisdoms he's picked up over countless rounds, things he shares with all his students.
So that's what we're doing today, right? Trying to pull out these mental nuggets.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how these ideas, even though they come from golf, are just so applicable everywhere else.
Totally.
Resilience, focus, just general well-being, whether you're, getting ready for a big meeting, learning something new, or just dealing with everyday stuff. These truths can really hit home. So as we go through them, maybe think about how they connect with your own experiences, your own challenges, your own game, whatever that is.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's dive in. The first truth, and this is a big one, I think, for everyone. Number 1, stay in the present.
Ah, the classic.
Right. Jentsch says golf, and life too, really it's a game of the present. You can't change that shot you missed.
Nope, gone.
And you can't guarantee the next one's perfect either. The absolute key, he says, is focusing everything on exactly this next swing.
Just this one.
Yeah. And his advice is so practical. Breathe deeply, look at your goal, and then swing. Now,
That's
sit.
simple but not easy.
No. He says everything else is just ballast, dead weight.
It really is.
But in a world just buzzing with distractions, notifications, worries about the future, how do you actually do that? What's the main hurdle, you think?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The mind just naturally wants to wander, right?
Yeah.
Back to regrets or forward to anxieties. Jentsch's advice, the breathing, looking, swinging, it's like a mini mindfulness drill. It sort of forces your brain to stop ruminating and just focus on what's happening right now.
Ah, so it's like a physical anchor.
Exactly. It grounds you. It's not just wishing you were present. It's actively building that mental muscle for paying attention on purpose.
Building a muscle. I like that. It actually leads really nicely into the second truth. This one's about the long view. Number 2, be patient.
Oof. Another tough one for modern life.
Tell me about it. Jentsch uses this great analogy. He says golf is not a sprint. It is a walk over many kilometers.
A long walk.
Yeah. And improvement takes time. Sometimes, he says, it takes 9 holes, sometimes 9 weeks, until everything feels good.
Right. It's not instant.
Yes. But here's the key part. He defines patience not just as waiting, but as waiting with trust. Trusting your effort, your rhythm, your own development.
Trust in the process.
Yes. He's adamant. The turnaround comes, but only if you stick with it. It reminds me, I was working on this project, and the early results were just awful. Been there. And you get that feeling, like just scrap it, start over, do something else. But that idea of waiting with trust, that really resonates. Did you ever have something like that?
Oh, definitely. That urge to quit when you don't see results right away is so strong. But what Jentsch says, patience is active trust. That's powerful.
Yeah, like trust, yeah.
It's like the concept of grit,
Yeah.
Sticking with long-term goals. You're not just sitting around. You're still putting in the work consistently.
Like you're still walking those kilometers.
Exactly. You're trusting that those small, steady steps will eventually add up, even if you can't see the finish line yet. It's so different from wanting everything now.
That is such a crucial distinction, the active trust bit. Okay, moving on. Number 3, this one tackles something huge today. Number 3, don't compare your journey.
Ah, the comparison trap.
Oh, yeah. We're swimming in it, aren't we? Jentsch mentions scorecards, handicaps, that's your golf skill rating, basically, and even Instagram swings, people showing off online.
Highlight reels.
Exactly. But his truth is pretty blunt. You can't beat anyone else but yourself.
Only yourself.
He says real progress is just being a little bit better than yesterday. Maybe a more conscious shot, maybe just a calmer moment, a clearer focus. That's it.
Internal benchmarks.
Yeah. He sums it up.
Yeah.
Your golf journey is unique, and that is exactly its strength. But man, that's tough to really feel when you're constantly seeing what everyone else is doing. How do you even start shifting away from that?
That's a great question. It is hard. The mental drain from always comparing is real. I think one starting point is consciously deciding what success means for you.
Okay, defining it yourself.
Yeah. Moving from needing outside approval to focusing on your own growth. Asking yourself, like you said, what does better than yesterday actually look like for me today?
Right, maybe it's not the score.
Maybe not. Maybe it's how you handle a tough situation or how focused you stayed. It makes the path healthier, more sustainable, because you own the milestones. They're not based on someone else's curated feed.
That sounds, incredibly freeing, actually. Which brings us to number 4. This one might seem a bit backward at first glance. Number 4, lower your expectations.
Counterintuitive, right?
Totally. We all want the perfect score, the birdies, pars, and perfect drives. It's natural.
Sure is.
But Jentsch has this line, the course owes you nothing. He says there's this inverse thing happening. The higher your expectations, the deeper often the disappointment.
It sets you up for a fall.
So his advice, play with realistic expectations. Then you can be positively surprised. The idea is to play liberated, not burdened.
Liberated, yeah.
Enjoy the good moments and be kind to yourself when things go wrong. I remember planning this perfect vacation once, like down to the minute.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It rained, bookings fell through, total mess. Until I kind of remembered this idea. Just had to let go of perfect.
What's a common expectation trap you see outside of golf?
Oh, gosh. The perfect first draft is a big one for writers or creators.
Or thinking every single meeting has to produce some earth-shattering breakthrough. It's interesting. Managing expectations isn't about lowering your standards, really.
How so?
It's more about appreciating what does work out and having the resilience when things inevitably don't go perfectly, finding joy in the process, not just pinning everything on a flawless result.
Okay.
When you release that pressure for perfection, ironically, you often loosen up and actually perform better. Less fear of messing up.
That makes a lot of sense. It really frames it differently. But I wonder, how do you make sure realistic doesn't just become an excuse for low ambition?
That's the balancing act.
Yeah. And it ties right into the 5th truth, which is all about what you can influence. Number 5, control what you can control.
Love this one. So practical.
It really is. Jentsch is super clear about what's not in your control. The wind, not the bunker, not the bounce on the fairway. You can't dictate those.
Nope. External factors.
But then he flips it. What is in your control? Your routine, your attitude, your reaction.
The internal stuff.
Exactly. So instead of fuming about a bad bounce, he says, ask, okay, how do I reorient now? How do I breathe? How do I get back my focus?
Take charge of your response.
Yes. He says, golf rewards those who stay calm, especially when things get turbulent. In our crazy lives, what's a quick way to make that pivot? From frustration about the external to focusing on your internal response.
It's fundamental for dealing with anything, really. Problem solving, managing emotions. That shift from blaming outside stuff to owning your inside response is huge.
Just how do you do it quickly?
Practically. It often starts with just a pause. Like Jentsch says, breathe. That tiny break creates mental space.
Okay, just stop for a second.
Yeah. Then ask, what can I actually do right now?
Wow.
Maybe it's adjust your plan. Maybe it's just change your perspective. Maybe it's just decide your very next small action.
Right.
Focus your energy where it matters.
Don't waste it on the wind.
Exactly. Don't waste it arguing with the wind.
Which leads us right into number 6. This is all about bouncing back. Number 6, let it go.
The art of the reset.
Yes. We all make mistakes, right? It's inevitable. Jentsch says, a bad shot happens. Always. Even to the best in the world.
Even the pros shank one sometimes.
Right. But the key lesson is, don't let that one bad shot ruin your whole hole, or even the whole round.
Don't let it snowball.
Exactly. He talks about training your reset button. Again, breathe deeply, look into the distance, take on a new focus.
Just creating that mental break again.
Yeah. And I love this image he uses. The next fairway doesn't care about your slice on the last hole.
Ha! That's great. It really doesn't.
So how do we build that reset muscle in everyday life so one mistake doesn't just tank everything?
Well, it's all about psychological resilience, isn't it? You know, we tend to overestimate how bad things will feel or for how long they'll affect us. That's called effective forecasting.
Ah, interesting. We think the bad feeling will last forever.
Pretty much. Jentsch's point about the next fairway not caring. It's a sharp reminder that we often carry the emotional weight way longer than needed.
So the reset muscle.
Building it means having a quick, deliberate ritual. Something to interrupt that negative spiral. Could be a physical shake, like shaking it off. Could be a breath, a mantra, whatever works.
Okay.
It's not ignoring the mistake, but it's acknowledging it and then consciously shifting focus forward. You avoid that sunk cost thinking, where one bad thing ruins everything after it.
That's super useful. Okay, last one. Number 7. And this one brings it all back to, well, fun. Number 7, don't take yourself too seriously.
Yes. Remember, it's a game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We forget sometimes, don't we? Jentsch says, yeah, golf is a game. Okay, it's demanding, it's challenging, sure.
Definitely challenging.
But it's also supposed to be full of joy, excitement, and humor.
Yeah.
He actually encourages specific things.
Yeah.
Laugh at your mishit. Celebrate the lucky shot.
Embrace the absurdity sometimes.
Yeah. Enjoy nature, time with friends, the sound of a cleanly hit ball. Just enjoy the experience. And he promises, if you play the game with a smile, it will smile back at you much more often.
Love that.
I tripped once, like full-on tripped walking onto a stage for a presentation.
Oh, no.
Total faceplant potential. Mortified for a split second. And I just started laughing, picked myself up, made a joke, completely changed the vibe. How does that lightness actually help when things are tough?
Well, your story is a perfect illustration. When you bring that playful attitude, you actually lower the stakes emotionally.
Less pressure.
Exactly. Less pressure means less anxiety, often better focus. Laughter itself releases endorphins, boosts your mood, can even make you more creative and adaptable. It just makes the whole process, the whole game more enjoyable, and often leads to better results because you're not paralyzed by seriousness.
Yeah.
Finding that sweet spot between dedication and delight.
Dedication and delight. I like that. Wow, what a trip through Henrik Jentsch's 7 Truths of Golf. It's so obvious these aren't just golf tips.
Not at all.
They're really powerful mental principles, tools for, yeah, a better game, but also just a more relaxed life on or off the course.
Absolutely. These insights go way beyond golf. So maybe take a moment to think about how you could apply them. Staying present, being patient.
Focusing on your own path.
Right. Managing expectations, controlling your reactions, letting go of mistakes. And yeah, not taking yourself too seriously. How could that enrich your life, your game?
And if there's one core piece of advice Jentsch leaves us with, it's just stay in the moment, stay patient.
Simple and profound. And maybe one final thought to take with you, straight from Jentsch. Golf is a gift, make the best of it. So think about the gifts in your life. Could be a passion, a project, a relationship, maybe just the day ahead. How can you approach those gifts with these truths in mind, really make the best of them?
And maybe get a smile back a bit more often.
Exactly.